I'm having to silently clap because everyone's in bed, but well done, Russell T Davies. This episode was by far my favourite and completely brought me back. I was very nervous going into this because episodes 3 and 4, if you've seen my reviews, I didn't like very much. I loved episode 1. Episode 2 was good. It was very, very good. Episode 3 and 4 completely lost me. The cliffhanger was good. That's all I have for it. So I was scared that this was going to fall flat. Because even though I like The Reality War, and even though I like Empire of Death, they're not strong pieces of well-written television. So I was very scared with Russell writing the finale that this could all just crumble in and break open like a big water tank. Which it did. But it was so, so good. And I'd love to talk about it with you. So obviously we open with the sea devil, homo aqua, getting like a big shell thing and just blowing into it. And it attracts all the dogs, which I think is such a clever way to play on their powers. And it's showing us, like I said, there's a lot of this series that I think has been a lot of telling us stuff without showing us stuff. And this shows us a sea devil blowing into it. And obviously the humans don't hear it. It's like a dog whistle, literally a dog whistle, that brings in all the dogs to the sea. And then Homo Aqua scran the dogs, which is like a lot darker than I think this played on it. Like, imagine your family dog. I mean, I don't have a dog, but I know probably a lot of you watching this will. Imagine your dog just gets summoned to a beach and then eaten by aqua kind. Like, that's dark stuff. Like, imagine that happening. So, it's very cool. It reminded me a lot of Children of Earth. I know I've said that a lot throughout this series, but the fact that only children responded to the 456 and the fact that only dogs responded to this. But I thought, cool link there, cool link. And then obviously we get told that Kate keeps seeing Ibrahim everywhere, which I think is a common thing after a shocking death. They say you see them everywhere, and they say after breakups too, like after a breakup you'll see your girlfriend everywhere. And I think it gets played on really well. And if it's real, if this is a real thing, they touch on it so good. I was going to say goodly, that's not a word. They touch on it so goodly. But Gemma Redgrave is just a gem. She literally is a gem. But she plays the role of Kate so brilliantly. And this scene was brilliant, alongside obviously what comes next, which was Kate's therapy scene, which there'd been speculations online that Kate's therapy scene was the post-credit scene and Kate was going to step down. We actually got a little bit of this, where Kate got told to step down. She was told that she was being let go from unit because of her unwell mental being, and her mental being bad. Sure, let's go with that. And that was so cool because, I thought in that moment, oh God, they're actually binning off Kate. She's actually going to be gone. Obviously not. It gets resolved by Kate being an absolute badass. I mean, obviously it's scary because I assume this does happen a lot in real life, where people use their power to get what they want. Definitely happens. And Kate, saying to the therapist, well, I know that your daughter isn't your husband's, and this will come out if you do not let me stay on and give me a doubleage of my dose of, medication she's on. Which, like I say, it's scary to think that stuff like that happens in real life. Horrible, scary stuff. But no, Kate's that whole bit with Kate. Kate's character's done so well in this series, and I'm glad she wasn't killed off. There was a bit later on, which I'll get to, where I did think they were going to kill off Kate, and I got scared. I got really scared. But no, it's good. Now, was it meant to be a thing that we don't know that Barclay's meant to be turning into a fish? Because, as soon as he started doing like this, feeling his neck, I was like, oh, well, he's going to turn into a fish at the end. Obviously, he didn't actually at the end, transform into a fish, which I thought he might do. He just has the ability to breathe through the gills, which is the only complaint I have with this episode, is it's not really explained how that happened. Was it through a kiss? I know there's probably something that was explained last episode, but I try not to think of episode 4 as much as possible. So let me know in the comments, was it explained why Barclay could now all of a sudden grow gills? Because, surely Salt would warn him and be like, oh, don't kiss me, Barclay, you'll turn into a fish person. We'll get more onto that later, because I have got some nags about that whole... See, I mean, the ending itself is good, it's nice, I like it, but there are some complaints I have with it that don't make total sense. But like I say, we'll get to that in a bit. But I don't think it was meant to be a subtle thing that he was turned into a fish, because It can't have been. Like, you must have realised at home. Did you realise at home? Or am I just, like, super smart all of a sudden? Watching Sherlock just turned me into a complete genius. I will say Russell definitely had the best episodes, in my opinion. I'm seeing people on Twitter say the complete opposite. People are saying that Russell's episodes were weak and Pete McTighe's episode were, they were much better. I disagree. I think episodes 1 and 5 are definitely my favourite, and I think I'd rank them both a 5 out of 5. Whereas Pete's episodes, they just felt slow. They just felt slow. And again, I'll touch more on that later, on how I think the series could have improved, in my opinion, and how I would have improved it if I was in charge. So I will touch on that just a little bit later on. I will say I like the fact that they're almost taking the review video that I feel a bit silly. They looked at my review video. I mean, obviously they didn't because they made it before, but, you know, they looked at the type of person who would make a review video like that, and they've gone, let's make it so they're the people we laugh at. Like, I'm trying to explain this in a way that makes sense. They could have so easily leaned into the fact that a fish person and a human being in a relationship is just normal. It's something that happens in your everyday life. What do you mean you've never heard of the man who's in love with a fish? It happens on the street corners every day. Round the corner from you, there's someone in love with a fish. They didn't do that. You know, Barclay's ex-wife has a very good line where, you know, Barclay's opening up and he goes, look, Barclay, you fell in love with a fish. And something like that. And that was nice. And it made me feel like, okay, the main issue I had is I was worried that it was just going to be accepted that Barclay and Salt were a thing, and it was just going to be like that, and like everyone knows, everyone's okay with it, but it's not. They are okay. I suppose they're okay with it, but it's pointed out that it's a bit strange. It's a bit strange, and I was worried it would just be normalised, and it hasn't been. And so I'm very, very glad about that, because that could have ruined my enjoyability of this final episode. The fish fingers joke was hilarious. I was laughing for about 30 seconds at the fish fingers joke, and Barclay's reaction to, you know, obviously he lifts up I don't even know what it's called, like the thing, you get a plate and you lift it up, your meal's there, and it was fish fingers, and he was like, very funny, and that's just real. That's real. That would happen in real life if a man got frisky with a fish. It's still weird to talk about, isn't it? It's still weird to talk about. I really thought they were going to kill Kate. You know, when the Prime Minister texts out to the Severance people, and basically there's an alert that pops up, and obviously the alert's to put the virus in Barclay, which he can then pass on to the sea. I'm assuming it wasn't actually explained how the virus got in the sea. I'm assuming that was it. They put the virus in Barclay. When he kissed Salt, that spread out to the ocean, unless I'm wrong. I don't know what accord was, unless accord was something to do with that. I'm still a little bit confused. Not a lot was explained. This was the one issue, well, not the one, but one of the issues my mum had. She said that nothing was actually explained. We had to make our mind up on how Barclay got the gills, and how the virus got into the water. But I'm pretty sure that injection they put into Barclay was how the virus got spread. But when the Prime Minister gave the green light to do that, I thought that was them giving the green light to kill Kate, and I got so scared they were going to kill Kate, because, like I've said, you could probably gather from this review alone, I love Kate, and if she'd have died, I think I would have probably cried. I know that rhymes. I would have probably cried. I thought Barclay was going to get assassinated at the end. When Heroes started playing, and they got the call, Kate got the call, I thought Barclay was going to have been shot by the rampage, not rampage, what they call it, like protesters. Horrifying stuff. I was very scared. Now, the one thing I don't get about this virus is, like, the Prime Minister gave the green light for it to be injected into Barclay. Why didn't they do this sooner? What was Severance actually waiting for? Because the only reason they put the virus in Barclay to be spread was because Kate was onto them, and so they needed to finish it. But, you know, why? If you're going to wipe out the whole race, why wait? You know, as much as I wouldn't do it, in these characters, why are they waiting? Why are they just sat around with this virus that could, like, make them victorious? Why aren't they spreading it? So that left me a little bit confused. And again, maybe I've missed something, so feel free to comment below. Leave a super thanks as well. But yeah, why didn't they release it sooner? Makes no sense to me. Did I miss something? Maybe I did. Like, there was literal mentions of ice caps melting. Not a single mention of, like, let's set off the virus now. And, like, the Prime Minister was scared. He was like, like, what are we going to do? We don't have 5 years. We don't have 5 years. Why not release the virus then? I think I must just be missing something, but please comment below, let me know. Salt and Barclay's reunion was cool to see. I'm still not buying it. I don't like their relationship, and I'm not going to complain as much as I did last week, because I understand now there's a lot of people that do. A lot of people love their relationship, and they were rooting for them a lot. I'm not one of those people. I think the relationship still is a bit silly, and I can't take it seriously. Which is weird, because there are so many episodes of Torchwood or Doctor Who where, like, a different race from English, what God turns to Farage, a different race from humans will get together with another race. I just find it like the paving slab from Love and Monsters. I don't care about that. I just think it's quite funny. But this just felt weird. I don't know. I just felt like there was no chemistry. There was no real chemistry. Nothing to make me believe in their relationship. So yeah, little bit of a down for me that. But I'm not mad, because I understand there are people out there who like it. So I can't be angry, it's just not for me. And this episode spent a lot of time focusing on characters. Like, it got to a point where I was half an hour in. I looked at my phone and I was like, there's only 20 minutes left, and nothing has happened in regards to concluding the plot. I felt like, and Russell does characters brilliantly. This is something I've said that's been missing from Doctor Who. We need more character moments, and there was a lot of that in here. A lot of character moments. But it felt like the plot wasn't happening. I mean, obviously I was proven wrong, because I think the plot ended perfectly. But there was a lot of just like sitting down and talking with people, and it's important conversation. I think McTighe didn't do that as well as Russell, but there was important conversation. But I was thinking, like, there's 20 minutes left and they've got to end a war. How are they going to do that? But then we get to how they do end the war, and I loved this. Seeing those sea devils, or homo aqua kind, just floating on the water upside down, or well, face down, like how fish do. Like, there was a couple of summers ago I was in Wales. And I was walking down this like stream, and it was a hot summer. I think it was 2023, and there was like a drought in like the water, and the fish. So that means that the water was low down, so the fish were just floating, and it was quite haunting to look at. And this felt quite harrowing. I was looking at, like, because they look like men, don't they? They look like man, like humans, but they're fish people, and they were just floating upside down, and it was really haunting, really harrowing. I was looking at that, and I was just thinking, like, wow, this is dark, and I love it. I loved it so much. I think that was probably the highlight of the episode for me, was the floating fish people. So cool. So cool. And like, it just makes me think back to that first episode, you know, and it does make me sad. Think about that first episode when we first see a homo aqua stood there in the water and the lightning, and it's basically just stood there talking like, we just want peace. You've polluted us, and we are the bad guys. Still, we are the bad guys. Like, this isn't an alien invasion. They've just said, you eat our fish, which are our family, you pollute us, we just want peace with you, and they end up getting wiped out. It's so sad that that's how that, like, and it's good because it's different from every other Silurian and Sea Devil story. Normally they end with, okay, fine, we'll go back underground, or we'll go back in the sea, you stay up here, we'll just have to live together. This went to the extreme and killed them. They just wanted peace. They wanted us to stop polluting. We are the bad guys of this story. We're the bad people. We're the villains. And that was done so well, and reminds me so much of what Russell can do. Russell is so clever and so smart, and the underlying message of just, these creatures wanted peace, we killed them. Wow. That is dark, and that is such a good idea for a TV show. So good. So good. But another issue I do have, when Salt comes to, you know, be like, we've ended the war, this is the end of the war, you've won. They clearly have technology beyond us, right? They literally made it rain plastic and rain like the Titanic from the sky. They must be able to have something up their sleeve that, you know, they just come and be like, okay, humans, you win. They're beyond us, you know, they've got technology beyond us, they must do. And they literally made it rain plastic bag for lives from the sky. So I wasn't too sure about that, but fine. I can look past it, whatever. It was sad. An issue that both me and my mum felt was that Barclay's surname got brought up a lot Barclay Pierre Dupont. Where's that from? Oh, it's French. Happened a lot. It was brought up a lot. And it just felt like that could have been leading to something. You know, I write stuff. You get told all the time, you don't put something in that has no relevance. Asking what someone's surname is it French, over and over again, should lead to something. It should have some sort of payoff. Maybe there was a deleted scene, fine. But, you know, we got nothing from that. You know, like, what? Did anyone else feel that? Maybe that's just me being a bit silly. But I feel like, you know, I don't know, I was hoping there would be a shock. My mum said this as well. We like when there's a big, like, oh, and it was there in front of us all along. Barclay Pierre Dupont stands for Barclay, push that red button over there, and that actually stops it all, you know, something like that. Obviously that would be rubbish, but something along those lines of, like, it meaning something, because, you know, I googled it. Pierre Dupont means Peter, son of Paul, I think, and Pierre Dupont is a famous old-time music composer from France. I don't think they're related at all, unless there's a hidden Easter egg in there somewhere. I don't know, like Mr. Saxon. You know, Harold Saxon in Doctor Who is an anagram. Mr. Saxon is an anagram of Master Number 6, because he was the 6th Master. So maybe it's something like that. I don't know. A bit I loved was the water catching up to, that, you know, they always said, you know, the water will catch up to you in the end. They said that to the woman who leaks Barclay's face, the Prime Minister, and the other guy, and they show them, like, the Prime Minister. And people were saying on Twitter, like, oh, it's them imagining how they're going to die. I took it as, like, that's us seeing how they die, how the water catches up to them. But we're seeing it happen. Obviously, they can't see it happen because it's not happened to them yet. But, you know, the guy in the shower having, like, the flood effect of, like, the water shooting out of his mouth like a hose pipe, and the people in the car. That's a horrifying scene to see. Like, imagine being trapped in a car where there's water and you can't get out. Horrible. So, that I liked very, very much. And the tank cracking, that was cool as well. Like, I mean, surely Shirley could have stopped that, though. Surely every episode is... Surely she'd have to have removed the water, because every episode the water gets put in. They're like, right, oh, I saw DTDW do this in his reaction, but, like, a lot of this show has just been like, right, Shirley, open floodgates 1. Opening floodgates 1. Right, fertilise the water. Water fertilise. Right, sterilise the humans. Sterilising humans. Homo aqua, enter. Entering Homo aqua. That's like everything. But surely Shirley will have had to remove that water at some point. She could have removed the water, unless it's a long process, which I'm sure will be the you know, the way they'll counteract what I'm about to say. But, you know, it feels like that could have been concluded. And then they shut the doors as if the water's not going to burst through the doors. Like, what? But, you know, it's not that big of a deal. It was a cool looking shot. They should have used it in the trailers. Would have been cool. I saw behind the scenes footage of Russell, like, showing the tank bursting, and it's just a big green screen. It's cool. They mentioned the Doctor. They mentioned why the Doctor wasn't there. You know, humans have to deal with their own consequences on their own. Sometimes we leave them to do that. Fine. I liked they gave an explanation. There were a lot of people who wanted an explanation. I don't care. The Doctor can't be there all the time. Fine. Like, that's literally what Torchwood was. So I didn't need an explanation, but a lot of people felt like they did. So it was good that this was, like, added on to the end. And now on to my biggest down for this episode. My biggest issue with it. Why did Barclay cry and ring up his kid and his ex-wife and be like, I'm leaving you and all that, if all he's doing is going to live in the ocean now? It's been established that Homo amphibia could walk on land. Salt literally survived on land for, I think it was a full night, maybe even a 24-hour period. Barclay can come back and see his kid and his ex-wife. It's not goodbye. They can come back. Like, what? And I get, you know, he's the witch of the waterfall now, whatever, but I would have preferred, this is going to sound bad, I would have preferred Barclay to get shot. Full on Charlie Kirk situation, okay? Like, you know, it was established throughout that people don't like Barclay. They feel like he's a traitor. If he'd have just been shot or stabbed or punched and just like a death, we needed a big death, and we had Ibrahim. But if Barclay had died at the end, I'd have cried and I'd have felt sad. And I think, you know, that's more sad. And we'd have seen Kirby, I've forgotten her name, but his ex-wife, you know, we'd have seen those guys being sad that their dad and their ex-husband has died. And that would have hit me more than just, I'm going for a swim. See you later, yeah? Going for a swim. But it's sad because I might not come back. And if he doesn't come back, he's a bit of a knobhead. It's been established that Homo amphibia can walk on land. And unless, Barclay has, he's turning into this fish that can't walk on land, fine, but that's not explained. It doesn't, like, how has he got gills? That's something else I got written here. Was it through the kiss? That was my guess. I wrote down, I guess it was through the kiss, question mark, I put. But, that's never explained, unless I missed it. That, if a Homo amphibia kisses a human, they grow gills. Sure, fine, whatever. But it's not explained. And that was the big thing that made me feel not as emotional about the ending that I think I could have been if he was shot, or if there was an actual reason that if it was established he couldn't walk on land. If they dug up some information, it was even just like Shirley reading off a screen saying, once Homo amphibia has kissed human can no longer breathe on land. Would have explained it. I'd feel sad that Barclay's gone. Yeah, no. But in saying that, the emotions were high when Heroes started playing and they were swimming together. I did feel something. As much as I don't like their relationship, I'm glad to see them both happy. And, these characters have been fleshed out well. As much as I don't like their relationship, like I keep saying, the character work has been really good this series. And there's a good choice of song. I actually listened to the song, you're seeing this on Monday, I'm recording Sunday. Saturday night, before the episode aired, I listened to this song whilst I was playing a game. And it got me thinking about how could this be used? Is there going to be a big piece? Oh, I didn't write this down. ACOM? It's not ACOM. The word that Salt's like, spread this and Homo aqua and all that will, they'll know what it means. And it was actually going to be that they were going to come to peace and live together. And that didn't happen. That really got me. That was me thinking, I should have mentioned this earlier when I was talking about peace, like, that could have been an option. If this severance thing never happened, if Kate never went into that room, we could be living at peace. And I thought when I heard this Heroes song, because they released it on Spotify before, I thought, that's what's going to happen. We're going to live at peace and we're going to be happy and they're actually going to live on land with us and stuff. But it makes it just all the more sad that it wasn't that. But yeah, it was, yeah. The emotions were high, even though I don't care about them. Well, I care about them, I just don't care about their relationship. I'd like more explanation about Barclay's fins. I keep calling them fins, gills. I'd like more explanation about that, but besides that, what can you do? But the post-credit scene was good. I hate myself because I did imagine it to be something more. I thought maybe there'd be something to do with Billie Piper. I actually put on Twitter, got a few likes, that I thought maybe Kate's therapist was going to be revealed to be the master somehow. Like maybe she'd do the giggle, or she'd have the red fingernails that picked up the tooth, or something that us hardcore fans, that wouldn't tarnish the story for new viewers and it being its own separate thing, but something that us fans would pick up on and go, oh. But the post-credit scene was Kate pointing a gun at somebody because they littered and they were polluting their plastic bottle into the sea. Which, I mean, it doesn't make much sense because surely that guy has lived on Earth for the past few days and seen that the fish people aren't happy, so why would you do that? But it was cool. I think it went on a bit too long. Kate was sat there like, pick the bottle up. It was just like, calm down, go, alright? And you'd pick it up, wouldn't you? If you had a gun pointed at you, you'd pick it up straight away. There was a lot of hanging about, but it was good. This was definitely the best episode, for sure. I think if you'd have cut episode 4 and had this series be 4 episodes at 60 minutes each, that would have worked better for me, personally, because I hate episode 4. But the rest is really good. Make it 4 episodes, 60 minutes, would be 10 out of 10. But my final ranking for this episode, the final episode of The War Between the Land and the Sea, and I can't quite believe I'm saying this for a Russell T Davies finale, is 5 out of 5. This series has gotten 5 out of 5. It's got a 5 out of 5 episode in the finale. Is that possible? I don't know. I'm going to do some maths now. So, episode 1, I rated 4.8. Episode 2, I rated 4.7. Episode 3, I rated 4.3. And then episode 4, I rated 3.6, was it? I think I did. And then plus 5. So that's 22.4. And then I divide that by 5. That's a 4.4, ignore my iPhone 8, my old one broke. 4.48 rating out of 5. That's really good. That's good. I'm happy with the ending. This series, like I say, wasn't what I thought it would be. I thought it would be something else, which I still think would be a better idea. Maybe I'll make it one day. Or maybe I already have. But yeah, this series has been fab. I lost a bit of hope in the middle, but the rest of it, well done. Russell, Pete, pat yourself on the back. Even Gugu and Russell, you did a great job. Russell Tovey, that is. You did a great job being the leads. And all the supporting cast, all the supporting crew, and writers and script editors and stuff. I've actually got a script here, which, keep your eyes peeled for this, guys. It's going to be flipping fab 2026 coming to you soon. Thank you very much for watching. If you're watching my big review video, if you're not watching my big review video, it will come out sometime next week. It'll be all my reviews put together with some bonus content like synopsises and tier lists and stuff like that. So keep your eyes peeled. If you've watched all of that, there's a tier list coming next. If you're watching the individual review, nothing's coming next because it's the end of the video. So leave a super thanks if you can, if you wouldn't mind. Comment what your thoughts on the series, what your ranking is. Leave a like. I love you all so much to bits. I really do. And yeah, ta-ra. I've been Sam from Cybus Industries. We can all rest easy for Christmas. Let's go.